Welcome back to Conversations with
Chris
and Crystal. And we are happy to be chatting again and coming up with all of our answers to all of the
life's tough questions.
Tough questions. That's exactly it.
So the other day when you were telling me about all the stuff that was overwhelming you,
yeah.
You know, I kind of understood, but then then I had some stuff happen, and it was like God was saying, "See, this is what Crystal's going through." So, I get it now. You know.
Yeah. It's well, and I do that with other people too. You know, I try to understand what. That's why I always ask all these questions about people, like, you know, what makes you think that way? Why do you look at life that way? I don't understand.
Oh, and I hate, because sometimes I feel like I ask the dumbest questions, like, and people will look at you sometimes like, "What are you, stupid?" But it's like, you know, sometimes things don't click in your brain the way they click in somebody else's brain.
Right. That's true. Yeah, that is true. Well, it's walking in somebody else's shoes. You know, what is their situation? But if you don't know that, then it's hard to do. You have to, you know, I think that's where I end up asking questions a lot. And I ask about other people as well. I'll say, well, you know, what's their story? And sometimes that bothers people that you ask, but I'm analytical. I'm trying to understand where they're coming from, where they're going, why they think the way they do. And a lot of times it really helps to know, you know, that they've lost a spouse, or that their kids are in prison, or, you know, whatever it is. I mean, they've got stuff going on, and if you can understand that and appreciate that and just go with that, then okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So what were you saying about?
Well, I was talking about commitment. You know, you and I have done plays, and all the time that we committed to that, to volunteer.
Well, that and the building the sets and the finding the props and providing our own wardrobe.
Yep. We did all of that, and every night after work, that's where we were.
Yeah.
Every day of the week, and it's the same thing at church. When you commit to doing something there, it just amazes me how many people are like, oh, well, no, we're on vacation that week, or we're this, or we're that. And I know they want to promote family and all of that, but if you want to be involved in furthering the kingdom of God, you need to commit to help in some way. I mean, you don't have to do everything, but you could do something, right?
Well, another thing that I always come back to, I think it was in Our Daily Bread from many years ago, that this guy was saying that this one person had expressed interest in teaching Sunday school, but then every time he was asked, he's like, "Oh, I don't want to be tied down."
Yeah.
And so the guy says, "Well, the Lord was nailed down for you."
There you go.
You know?
There you go.
And it's like, what if he didn't have a commit? You know.
Yeah, if he had no commitment to it.
If he had a lack of commitment, where would we be?
Where would we be? We'd be nowhere. That's it. And I just feel that real commitment to things. You know, if you can't commit, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Just say no. Yeah. You know, can't do that. But I did run into, and I think we have mentioned this before, I heard a preacher online and saying that, everybody's looking for their purpose as far as God is concerned. What is my purpose? What is my purpose? What am I here for? Why am I here on this earth? And, you know, according to the Bible, we're here to love others and do something, anything that furthers the kingdom of God. You know, whether you are teaching Sunday school, or you are singing in the choir, or you are doing a Christmas play that reaches out to other people. But commit to that.
And as far as your purpose goes, it could take years before you figure that out.
Yeah.
It took me years.
Yeah, and you can't. You have to just do something, anything, and it'll change into, because God says, oh, now go left, go right, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it's like anything. Like if you get a job, you know, you're testing it out. Oh, I don't like this, and then you move on to something else, and you know, and when it fits, it fits.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, as far as purpose, you know, well, like I say, God can't steer a parked car. So if you're sitting there doing nothing, there's nothing to arrange or anything to change or help you with, or, you know, and you also, if you do something, anything furthering the kingdom of God, if you just, you know, step out and start volunteering and helping, it is going to change you. It is going to make a difference in your life. It's going to change your priorities and, you know, that kind of thing. There's a lot of things to be learned. and get started. Don't sit back going, well, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What is my purpose? What is my purpose? Well,
You're not going to find it by sitting there asking.
Yeah, you're not. You can't even read a book about it because there are books on it.
And I've read some books.
Yep. But that was the simplest, most straightforward that I had ever heard. I really, really like that. That, you love others and you do something, anything to further the kingdom of God. You do something. You volunteer at your church. That's part of being part of a church. And that's the other thing for me. My husband always says, why can't we go to church and just sit and do nothing? Actually, that doesn't work. Unless you are plugged in and doing things there at the church, you are not furthering the kingdom of God.
Well,
you're
not
just
only that,
taking
but
up
you're
space.
not really part of the church. You're kind of on the outskirts, just kind of an outsider looking in instead of being in there.
Yeah, and that's what it's for. It's to bring all these people together to help one another and to love each other and to show that forth. And it is good to have everybody there at the church physically, which personally I've done both. I've stayed home and watched on TV, and then I go. But I do know that when you're really working with the spiritual aspect of it, it is wonderful to have everybody there on the same page, all thinking the same way, and furthering the kingdom of God all at the same time.
Well, we're all made of energy.
Yeah.
And so having all that energy in one room really,
Yeah, it does. It makes a big difference. Yeah, it makes a big difference. So that's something to consider too. But yeah, I just don't understand these people who don't go. They're all offended.
Or they say, "Oh, I'll be there this week and do X," and then they call you later. "Oh, I've changed my mind."
Yeah, I've changed my mind.
And not only is it the fact that they're not committed to doing X, they have had caused all these other people who are counting on them to do X to now have to scramble and do something different.
To do something else. Yeah, and I'm really good at that. I probably should never advertise that. But I can pick up and go, and regardless of who's let me down. But I do get, after a while, it gets very tiring, and you just,
frustrating.
I can't imagine living your life not committed to something, or this thing, or that thing, or something. I'm confused by that. Why am I confused by that?
Well, because you've committed to so many things. I mean, you committed to a marriage, you committed to plays, you've committed to doing flagging, you've committed to all kinds of things.
And you're doing the Christmas play and
directing and being
directing.
a PA
And being a
script
PA,
person.
yep. Yeah. So are there just some people who can't commit to anything?
I think so. Yeah, there's flighty people out there. They're just like, oh, this looks like fun, and then as soon as it's not quite as fun as they thought, oh, I'm gonna go.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I just. Yeah. Okay. All right.
You said.
Now, did we talk about commitment? Did we talk about what we wanted to talk about with commitment? Did we get everything?
So. Yeah.
Okay.
Did we commit to our commitment? Are we committed to being committed?
Yeah, I'm committed.
Should we be committed?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Committed to the mental hospital?
Oh dear. Okay.
So all that to say, commit yourself.
Be committed. Yes, to whatever it is you're going to do, or say no. I mean, no is
no is fine.
No is a complete sentence.
But don't be wishy-washy and go, oh, I'm going to do this, and then when times get tough,
I know.
You're out the door. No.
I know it. Oh, it's so hard. It is difficult. Okay. So, okay. Well, I think that does it for us. We're wrapping up here.
All righty.
So, as we always say, take care of yourself because nobody else will. Bye for now.